Lord, give us grace that we, like them, the meek and lowly, on high may dwell with thee. Amen. Good morning. Good morning. You ready for the time of your life?
Yes.
How often have I heard that term used, the time of your life? Well, maybe today. I have to humbly say that I was thinking of my mother briefly when I said that, because she used to say, you know, Hank, when my ship comes in, I'll be waiting at the airport. Wrong place, wrong time. Well, maybe today, maybe now, this is the right place at the right time. Today I was thinking we should take attendance. Who's here? 9:30, you got to sleep later if we're at 8 o'clocker, or for the true 10 o'clockers, just a few minutes early, come join the choir and the congregation. We're ready to go. But really, how often do we have reasons for not being here? Excuses. It's inconvenient. It's my one free day. Why do I have to be there? Or other priorities, other opportunities. Like in the scripture, in the gospel, don't we often hear Christ say, follow me? It's very simple. Follow me. And the response is always yes, yes. But first, I need to, and then fill in the blank. Or if only. And it never happens. Today's gospel, we hear in succession 3 excuses why people don't follow Jesus. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's discomforting. He used the term, foxes don't have their nest, but the Son of Man does not. Others, they have social commitments. You know what I'm saying. It conflicts. Maybe later. Or family obligations. Right today. For me. But I'm here. It's good. I think also there's a nature of time. Time in terms of our calendars gets very full. But occasionally, in my reflection, I was thinking of the times that God enters our lives is a different type of time. It's not the chronos of the watch, of the calendar, but just times in our busy life when God enters in. Another reason for one of our excuses, maybe we're just plain afraid. We're afraid of the unknown. We're called to go all in on something based on faith. And that's not easy. Not easy for any of us. There's that final line in the gospel. You know, to join up, to be part of this, you're going to have to put your hands on the plow and don't look back. It's a great metaphor from the first century, but also I think it applies today. How many times are we called to not look back as we commit to Christ? So why are you here today? And by the way, thank you for being here. Why are you here today? Perhaps what has brought us here is, in fact, a hope. Based on the prophets of today, who brought us word of where faith has taken them and brought them. Some of them are sitting right next to you. Some don't even know that. And we see it in our own life, each individually, but it gets manifest in this yearning. This yearning, and I use the image from the second reading from Paul, of taking on a yoke for Christ. Now, the yoke is the image he uses to introduce the concept of being enslaved by a yoke. Very clearly in the first century, this was not good. It's a wooden apparatus over your shoulders that enslaves and encumbers you the way it does an ox. It leads to hard work and no options. He used it in terms of the enslavement of the flesh, of the temporal life before Christ that led to a desire for beauty or status and power, things like belongings and wealth. That when these take over your life, you are enslaved. And I summarize it in the areas of selfishness, conceit, and envy. He says these are what we need to break away from and take on a yoke for Christ. That the gift has been given us of freedom. A freedom beyond our imagination. And that's what we're called to. Now he cautions us. Paul cautions us and said, now, don't use this freedom to lead to self-indulgence, because that is what brings us to death. What he says, instead, look at these aspects of life in the forgiveness, in the freedom to love and care for others in this world. The second commandment, to love others. The basis of this, and I have to get out my chart, which I made copies for everyone. There's a quiz next week. Conveniently, there are 9 items. They include love, kindness, patience. You remember that? But what he does is, he makes this list, and I was saying, okay, love and kindness is familiar, but he also includes other items, which are, for me, more actionable, things I can actually do. And I don't have to do all 9, and I came up with a diagram that puts on the corners 4 items that we can do today in our own way. And they were taking a time now, as of today, a time for self-control, a time for generosity. There is time in our church season, a time for gentleness. And the 4th one was a time for faithfulness. Self-control, generosity, gentleness, faithfulness. Now, those 4, there's no grading on this, but these are things you can actually do in response to God's gift. And as you work in from the corner, they lead to the 4 other critical ones. Self-control, gentleness lead to patience. Generosity, faithfulness to kindness. Likewise, faithfulness, gentleness to peace, and joy from self-control and generosity. Now, that's way too much to take orally. You need to get a program. All right? But what it allows me to do, at least, to say, well, what can I do today? Well, I can start doing something. And it is in line with the second commandment. Now, taking on this yoke, this is my other point, is this gospel and this reading in Galatians is calling us to take on work. The freedom is not a vacation. Sorry, Karen. We're taking something on. And we take it on in joy and in total freedom. And I have times in my life I remember, and maybe you do too, when something happens in your life that is absolutely thrilling, but it is also engaging. Perhaps it might be a letter from a college admitting you to go there. You realize you've got 4 years of hard work ahead of you, but it is thrilling. Personally, I remember the birth of our first child, Clark, that this was one of the finest days of my life. I was so energized and realized about an hour or 2 later, I said, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, this is going to take work. And I distinctly remember saying, I'm taking this on. You know, I will do everything. And it, like the plow, where you can't look back, there was nothing that was negotiable in that. My commitment was 100%. For others, it may be that special job offer that comes maybe halfway through your career that is the culmination of your abilities, your desires, and your aspirations. And it may call you to really work extra hard, but you're willing to do it because it's finally coming together for you. These are the moments where you're taking on the yoke by choice. And I think that's what we're looking for today. It's a special time. Life is changing. And it's not a time of ease, but it is an all-in commitment. But it's not to our demise. It's the making of us. That's the whole point. It's the making of who we are. It may not be who we are now, but it's who we are to be. And the yoke, therefore, is a means to freedom. That freedom, and may just possibly be the time of our life. Amen.